Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I am Nurfitri binti Muhammad Hudari and I am from LG24228. Let me start with a question. How many hours of sleep did you get last night? 5, 3, or maybe you did not sleep at all last night? Why waste time sleeping when you can do so much, right? Correct me if I am wrong, but sleep is often seen as time wasted, lost forever. There are proverbs that warn you about being left behind while sleeping. In practically every language, there are idioms like caught napping or burning the midnight oil. So, those who want to make something of themselves in life, cut down on sleep. An average adult sleeps for 6.8 hours a night. The national average of sleep in Japan is 5 hours and 59 minutes, Saudi Arabia 6 hours and 8 minutes, Sweden 6 hours and 10 minutes, and India 6 hours and 20 minutes. Do you know these numbers can kill us? Science says an average adult needs to sleep at least 7.5 hours every night. If you are having trouble recalling names, information, or trivia, blame it on your sleep or lack of it. 7.5 hours per night is the recommended amount of sleep. America's Center for Disease Control is a little more practical. It says 7 hours or more. This applies to all adults. As for the recommended amount of sleep for other age of groups, here is the chart. As you can see, there is difference in recommended sleeping hours for each age of group. Now that we know how much we should sleep. The next question is, when should we sleep? Can we complete our sleep quota in the mornings, afternoons, and evenings too? People are at their sleepiest at 2 points in the day, between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m., and between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. The best time to go to sleep is between 8 p.m. and midnight. Early to bed, early to rise. What happens if you sleep after midnight? As mentioned by National Library of Medicine, late bedtime is related to depressive symptoms. Some experts believe that if you sleep by 2 a.m. but complete your 7.5 hours of sleep, you are safe. Meaning, there is no risk of cardiovascular disease or diabetes as such. As long as you are completing 7.5 hours of sleep, but there's a catch here. If you are sleeping late, you need to ensure that your sleep is undisturbed. That really doesn't happen, does it? With the morning come doorbells, work calls, the noise of traffic, school, college, and everything. As a result, our sleep is hampered and we end up sleep deprived. Next, what happens if you are not sleeping enough? There is a drop in health and productivity. Let's look at health first. Sleep deprivation is linked to physical health problems like cardiovascular disease, hypertension, and diabetes. Studies have found that lack of sleep also leads to breast cancer in women and prostate cancer in men. According to researchers at Hong Kong University, they found a discernible DNA damage in those whose sleep was disrupted even for one night. Let's look at mental health problems now. Lack of sleep is linked to anxiety and depression. South Korea and Japan rank the worst when it comes to a good night's sleep. It so happens that South Korea and Japan also have the highest suicide rates in the world. Japan has the phenomenon called karoshi, death caused by lack of sleep. Do you know we also put on weight if we do not sleep well? King's College London conducted a study in 2016. It found that sleep deprived people consumed an average of 385 kilocalories per day. That is an excess of 4.5 slices of bread every day. Leptin and ghrelin are two hormones that explain the link between sleep deprivation and obesity. Leptin tells the brain that you are full. Ghrelin urges you to eat more. Sleep deprived people have low levels of leptin and high levels of ghrelin. Sleep deprivation is also linked to the lack of productivity. If you do not get enough sleep, you are groggy at work. It is also hard to concentrate. As a result, people end up being less productive. So, here is the moral of the story so far. Sleep deprivation is helping no one. Do you know falling asleep takes around 10 to 15 minutes, but if you manage to doze off within a few minutes, it means that you are sleep deprived. Have you been sleeping well? Have you been sleeping enough? Who are we giving excuses to? Because you know what? If we do not sleep, how will we dream? That is all for me. Thank you.